Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're diving straight into the heart of JavaScript, the language that makes the web come alive. We're going to build out your essential digital toolkit, starting with the one concept that everything else is built on. So it really all boils down to this one simple question. When you're coding, how does a computer actually keep track of stuff? Like a username, or your score in a game, or what's in your online shopping cart. The answer to that? Well, that's the foundation of pretty much all programming. So here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with what variables even are, then how to make them, and what kind of stuff you can put inside. After that, we'll get into a classic JavaScript quirk, check out a much better way to handle text, and then you'll get a chance to try it all out yourself. Okay, let's get right into it. The easiest way to think about a variable is it's like a labeled box. Seriously, you put some information inside the box, you slap a name on it, and from that point on, your code just has to know the name of the box. It's the most basic, most essential tool you've got. And to be super clear, the variable isn't the information itself, it's the container for it. By giving that container a name, you're literally telling the computer, hey, remember this piece of data. I'm going to call it score, and trust me, I'm going to need it again later. So how do we actually make these containers? In modern JavaScript, we've got two main ways to do it, let and const. Now, you might have heard of an older one called var, but you'll see in a second why let and const are way better and help you avoid some really common mistakes. And here it is, the big choice you have to make every time. If you have a value that you know is going to change, like a player's score that goes up and down, you use let. But for a value that should never change, like someone's birth year, you lock it down with const. Think of const as a way of protecting yourself from future mistakes. Let's see this in action, because it makes it really obvious. With let, we can create a counter, and then later we can add to it. No problem at all. Works perfectly. But look what happens with const. The second we try to change that max value, bam! JavaScript throws an error. And that's a good thing. It's the computer helping you enforce your own rules. So the best practice here is really simple. Just use const for everything by default. Then, if you realize later on, oh, wait, this value actually needs to change, it's super easy to just switch it to let. That one little habit makes your code way safer. And var, for now, just know that it behaves in some weird, unpredictable ways, which is why we avoid it. Okay, so we know how to make the boxes. Now for the fun part. What can we actually put inside of them? In the programming world, we call these things data types. Now, don't let this table freak you out. JavaScript has these 7 primitive data types. But honestly, you're going to use 3 of them about 99% of the time. First is a string, which is just any piece of text. Second is a number, which can be a whole number or a decimal. And third is a boolean, which is just a simple true or false. Those 3 are the absolute bedrock of everything you're going to build. All right, now for a fun and really important quirk about JavaScript. Because it's a loosely typed language, it tries to be helpful and, well, it sometimes converts data types for you automatically, and the results can be a little surprising. This is the classic beginner gotcha. Let's start with what seems like a simple one. If you take the string 5 and subtract the number 1 from it, what do you think you get? Just take a second. The answer is 4. And this makes sense, right? JavaScript sees the minus sign and it thinks, oh, they're trying to do math. So it's smart enough to convert the text 5 into the number 5, and everything works just like you'd hope. Pretty cool. Okay, so if you followed that logic, what about this one? The string 5 plus the number 1. You're probably thinking 6, right? Well, let's see. The answer is the string 51. And this is the gotcha moment. See, the plus sign is special. It does 2 jobs. It adds numbers, but it also joins strings together. We call that concatenation. And when JavaScript sees a string next to a plus sign, it will always choose to join strings. So it turns the number 1 into the string 1 and just sticks them together. Wild, right? All of that weirdness with the plus sign is exactly why modern JavaScript gave us a much better way to build our strings. It's time to add a new tool to your kit, template literals. I mean, just look at the difference here. It's night and day. On the left, you have the old way, trying to piece everything together with all those clunky plus signs. But on the right, that's a template literal. You just use backticks, that's the key next to the 1 on your keyboard, and then you can drop your variables right inside the string. It is so much cleaner. So yeah, template literals are just better in pretty much every way. It's super easy to pop variables in, you can write strings that span multiple lines without any hassle, and honestly, it's just the modern, professional way to handle text in your code. Okay, we've learned about let and const. We've covered our basic data types, and we just got this awesome new tool for working with strings. So you know what's next? Let's put all these pieces together and actually build something. Here's your challenge. I want you to just think through how you'd code this. First, a variable for your favorite color. It might change, right? So we should probably use let. Second, a variable for the year you were born. That's never going to change, so that's got to be a const. And then you'll use a template literal to put it all together in a nice sentence. You ready? Got something in your head? All right, let's see how it's done. And there it is, simple as that. Line 1, we use let for favorite color because, hey, maybe next week it'll be green. Line 2, we use const for birth year because that's locked in forever. And line 3, we use our beautiful, clean template literal with those SOGZ placeholders to build the final message. See how every single thing we just talked about clicks together perfectly? And just like that, you have the absolute core building blocks of programming. A way to store information, a way to define what kind of information it is, and a way to combine it all into dynamic messages. The possibilities from here are literally endless. So the only real question left is, what are you going to build first?